Hey folks, since making my Blues Hog honey barbecue sauce clone recipe, I've been asked by many of you to try to recreate the Blues Hog Tennessee Red. So I have here Blues Hog Tennessee Red sauce, barbecue sauce, and I can't find this locally, so one of my buddies, Jason at GQ Barbecue, who is actually a professional pitmaster on the national circuit, he actually sent me this because he's really interested as well to get the recipe for making this sauce. So I'm going to make it today. And here's what you're going to need. You're going to need some coarse ground black pepper, some salt, some pure cane syrup. Now in this they use high fruit corn syrup, which is a lot cheaper to use, but I'm making this at home, so I'm going to go with the 100% pure cane syrup. And then of course you're going to need tomato ketchup, you're going to need cider vinegar and crushed red pepper. And the secret ingredient is ground mace. And in researching this recipe, I found a blogger, Barbecue Phil, who has come up with a recipe that looks very similar to what I think this recipe will be. So thanks Phil. I'm going to be using the ground mace because it just says spices in the ingredients list. So Phil dug around and found that ground mace is the secret ingredient. So I'm going to put links in the description box below for GQ Barbecue and for Barbecue Phil for his blog. Go over and check both those guys out. You'll love it. So I'm going to get these all portioned out, get them all measured, and then let's put this sauce together. It shouldn't take long, so stay tuned. Let's put this barbecue sauce together. So here I have a cup of apple cider vinegar, a cup of tomato ketchup, a half a cup of that pure cane syrup. That's what cane syrup looks like. That's really tasty and sweet. Here I have a tablespoon of coarse ground black pepper, a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, a teaspoon of kosher salt, and a quarter teaspoon of the secret ingredient mace. So I'm just going to add all that together, and then I'm going to bring this up to a boil and then reduce it to simmer and then check on it, see if I need to add anything. So stay tuned. Okay, that's coming up to a boil and I tasted it. And I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar. Doesn't seem sweet enough for me, so I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of sugar that Phil called for. Everything else seems right. I'm just going to reduce the heat and let this simmer for about 20 minutes. You don't want it to simmer too long. You don't want it to thicken it too much because it is kind of a thin sauce. Okay, meet me back here in 20 minutes. Okay, that's been 20 minutes. And if you have an exhaust fan, I suggest you use it because that vinegar, I'm going to go and turn this off. With the vinegar and those peppers, it will really open up your sinuses. Okay, that looks good because you don't want to reduce this too much. You don't want it to be super thick. So now I'm going to pour this into ladle this into a jar here and then let it cool. And then see how I did, how close I am, how far off I am. I got a feeling, because I did taste this, I got a feeling this is going to be spicier. Because I used a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. And if you don't want a spicier version, you can reduce the crushed red pepper flakes to a half a teaspoon, or even a quarter of a teaspoon. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna let this cool down. Ouch, because it's hot. And then give it a taste test. So stay tuned. Okay, the barbecue sauce is cooled down, and now we're gonna do a taste test. The Blues Hog. Give it a shake test. Okay, that's how that sounds. And this is mine. Very similar, but this is a little deeper. Okay, let's take a look at how it looks and how it tastes. Blues Hog. It's a little thin. It's very thin. And this is mine. It's a little thicker. And it's darker. And it's darker probably because I use that pure cane sugar, the pure cane syrup. Whereas the Blues Hog used the high fructose corn syrup, which is clear. But mine's a little bit thicker. Probably could have used a little bit more vinegar, but I didn't want to overdo the vinegar. So let's take a taste of this. It's good. It's very vinegary. It's very sweet. It's got a nice hint of pepper. And then here's mine. Very similar. Good vinegar flavor. A little more heat because I did use more crushed red pepper. You could cut the red pepper in half if you don't like it as spicy, but it still has really great pepper flavor, the black pepper flavor. It's very sweet. To tell you the truth, I like mine better, but it is very similar, very similar. I can't wait to try this on some pulled pork. So it's not identical, but I'm claiming success. This is as good, if not better, in my opinion.